Ever tried boiling a frog? The key to boiling a frog is not to put it in hot water. Put the frog in tepid water and boil it slowly. The frog will keep swimming, adjusting itself to the heat. The frog will not perceive the danger until the point it cannot handle the heat anymore. It will be too exhausted to jump out and will be cooked to death. This is exactly how a drought works. It is a silent emergency. In humanitarian language, we call it slow onset. Because the impact of the drought is slow, people keep getting used to it until it's too late. The damage a drought leaves takes a long time to recover. Without helping the nature to be resilient, it will take only few months to fall prey into the next dry spell. While World Vision, along with the government and other aid organizations, responded accordingly, there was a dire need for a prompt, sustainable solution. The solution to battle this silent calamity was a brainchild of Ajit Prasanna, Program Coordinator of World Vision Lanka. His first experiment was while he was working with the community in Kottavehera in the Kurunegala district, where the dry weather was prevalent most part of the year. The experiment involved planting of fruit trees and teak trees that helped reduce the fall of direct, harsh sunlight and evaporating all the water. Three years ago, Ajit was transferred to a new community, Nawagaththegama in Puttalam district, which is one of the driest zones in Sri Lanka. Although most communities in the area practiced agriculture for a living, the adverse weather made it extremely hard for communities to survive. The situation forced parents to migrate in search of new livelihoods, leaving their children under the care of grandparents or other relatives. This situation inspired Ajit to study the techniques of integrated resource management and analog forestry. He explored innovative methods that can be used in this area, combining their traditional methods of agriculture and insights from permaculture techniques to build the concept of food forest garden. Ajit's intervention started with implementing this project with farmers who had a minimum of 1.5 acres of land in Nawagaththegama. In the initial deliberations, Ajit, together with the farmer, designs the cultivation plan that best fit the land. Attention is paid to the geography of the land, capacity of the farmer, income generation, period of harvest, market access to the crops, and weather patterns. Other components of home garden, such as beekeeping, poultry, dairy and cattle farming are also decided. In the dry zone, it is important to retain the little rainwater that is received. So, first, a rainwater harvesting tank is built using half acre of land with a natural water protection system around it. Simultaneously, the land is prepared for the analog forest. In this analog forest, trees that yield a harvest in a relatively long cycle are planted according to their height. The analog forest produces organic fertilizer that reduces the sunlight reaching the ground, thus reducing the evaporation. It not only controls the impact of the sun on the ground, but also organizes the direction of the wind and the amount of water carried by the wind. The next step is to build a fully organic, resilient garden, a well-structured cultivation plot of quarter of an acre. This garden is designed according to a crop calendar, studying weather patterns in the specific area and crops with high market demand. The garden is a combination of a variety of tuber crops, creeper plants and trees specifically for home consumption. At this point, Ajit introduces integrated resource management. The farmers are given the option to choose beekeeping, poultry, dairy and cattle farming according to their preference. Animal husbandry is also introduced as a method to improve natural fertilizer. Food forest garden consists of crops that yield harvest right throughout the year. Therefore, it maintains food security of the farmer family. The harvest obtained from the food forest garden is 100% organic, making it chemical-free and high in nutritional value. Therefore, the harvest retains a good economic and a health value. It also helps ensure the nutritional requirement of the farmer's family and the community at large. Food forest garden helps to build a simple, minimalist, organic ecosystem that is sustainable. This ecosystem ensures the timely rainfall that is required to defeat the dry spell in Sri Lanka. This will also help reduce the average temperature that has risen by 2% in the country. The system will also ensure the protection of the cascade water system Sri Lanka inherits. The food forest garden has become a green fortress, keeping the drought out of the land and the homes. It was implemented with 22 farmer families in Nawagaththegama. 60% of the ground is now covered with greenery, resulting in retaining of groundwater levels, the cooling in the air and supporting the functions of the microorganisms. Nawagaththegama did not receive adequate rainfall for the past 1.5 years, and last year the country experienced its worst drought in 40 years. However, the food forest gardens continue to produce food, keeping the farmers economically stable and growing. The little green spots on the dry brown canvas started to not only hold fort but smudge its greenness around. World Vision Lanka plans to replicate this concept in the dry zones around the country to fight drought and increase both food security and economic stability of the farmer families. And that's how Ajit Prasanna helped the frog jump out of the pot.